For the second time in as many trips, Oregon arrives way east and looking for a new challenge. That's exactly what Dan Lanning's Ducks have got, coming off of a loss and into uncharted waters. 156 years of college football, and we still haven't seen it all. Today we witness a first, the inaugural battle of the Scarlet Knights and the Ducks. Because we're better for a new rivalry to be born than the birthplace of college football. And it is already rocking here for homecoming. Big Ten football sponsored by Graduate by Hilton. The 8th ranked team in the land, the Oregon Ducks, riding the nation's longest road win streak across the nation to take on Rutgers, itching for an upset. Energy is high here. Hi, everybody. Welcome. This is Jake Butt. Brooke Fletcher's down on the field. I'm Guy Haberman. Unfamiliar territory for Oregon, not just because they've never been to this place, Jake, but because they haven't lost a regular season game in over 2 years. That's what happened last week at home, of all places, to Indiana. So how do they respond now?
Well, first off, I just think that's the best part of the expanded playoff era is a good team, a championship team like Oregon can't afford to lose a game and can't afford to learn and grow, which Dan Lanning told us is the goal coming off a loss. That's the goal for Oregon. It's also the goal for his quarterback, Dante Moore. I felt all season that he's the best quarterback in America. I'm not going to let one bad performance change my opinion. But in fairness to Indiana, I mean, they had his number. He just looked like he never got settled into the game. They were showing him looks, Guy, that he clearly was not prepared for. Well, just like it's the goal for Oregon to bounce back, chance for Dante Moore to bounce back against a Rutgers secondary that's given up a ton of explosive plays.
Rutgers has an offense, though. Tell the world, right? We've seen it this year, the receivers, the run game. But Ethan Kaliak-Manis had made it go. In his last year as a college football player, he has saved his best for the finale.
And he's had to, really, because when I think about Greg Schiano-led teams, I think running the ball and playing defense, that's the formula to success. But for the Scarlet Knights this year, they've rode Kaliak-Manis's back. It's been shootouts that have led this team to victories. And really, it's uncharacteristic. His completion percentage throughout his career, mid to low 50s. Now all of a sudden he's flirting with 70%. A big reason why, though, is he has talent on the outside. These are college wide receivers, but they're NBA level body types. You see 6'3" by Ian Strong, 6'6" by KJ Duff. Why this matters today, Guy, is even when Oregon's in position to make a play defensively, their height and catch radius allows them to win some of those 50-50 balls.
Oregon's got a true freshman at corner who's a budding star named Brandon Finney. Made a huge play last week, and this Brooke Fletcher is a homecoming of sorts for him.
Well, Brandon Finney said he doesn't want to be the best freshman. He wants to be the best corner in America. And many would say he's on quite the trajectory, given the success he's had so far this season and that pick six, the first of his career last week versus Indiana. Defensive coordinator Tosh Lupoy told me the way he carries himself, it's like an All-American already, just with his preparation, the way he's always taking notes, always in film, also leaning on those veteran guys. He's almost become a leader in that group. Of course, Lupoy also gave credit to the good genes and the good Lord just for that natural talent. Shout out to his mom, Kaya, and his dad, Brandon Sr., who are actually here at the game tonight. Brandon grew up less than 3 hours away in Owen Mills, Maryland, and so they're here along with 600 other family members just to come out and support him in what you guys said could potentially be a big game for him.
And we can just see the emotions that he's feeling on the sideline. He's not the only one feeling the energy in the building tonight. Second straight sellout here at Rutgers. Rutgers won the toss and elected to defer. So Oregon, who scored just 13 points on offense last week in that loss to Indiana, is going to get the first opportunity. The man you just highlighted, Dante Moore. It was really a very foreign experience for him. He's only been sacked once all season before he was sacked 6 times last week, Jake.
It's been like a Heisman level season for him. Everything's been clicking until last week, and he never looked like he got settled into the game. The big reason why is those sacks. Now, sacks aren't just an offensive line stat, Guy. A number of those sacks were because Dante Moore, it just didn't look like he was trusting his eyes. He didn't see coverages, held onto the ball a little too long, and really never looked like he got settled in. But this Rutgers defense, they've given up some pass plays in the back end, so a chance for Dante to bounce back.
Noah Whittington gets the start at running back, and he's going to get the first carry of the day. And across the edge he goes for a healthy gain on first down.
Yeah, Oregon took 2 planes out here, they told us. I think the second plane was just for their running back room.
Unconfirmed. Second down and now out of the pistol for Dante Moore and some pressure. And Rutgers wins that battle with Bradley Weaver all over it. And it's third down. Dante Moore for the adjustment. Moore out into the flat, caught by Gary Bryant Jr. And the ball comes out, and Rutgers recovers it. The first fumble of the year for Oregon.
Wow, what a play for Rutgers defense. What a start for the Scarlet Knights. Dante Moore, he sees this all the way. He sees Rutgers bringing an all-out blitz. He checks to this exact screen, and Coach Stein told us yesterday they love throwing these screens to Gary Bryant, one of their veterans in the room, a guy they trust. But that was just putting a helmet right on the football, and it popped out. Rutgers ball now in scoring position.
And Greg Schiano told us they're dying for a turnover. We're working so hard to create turnovers. It just hasn't happened yet, but it's coming. And Jordan Walker's the man that recovers it. And now look at what the offense gets to do. Start at the 33-yard line. Nathan Kaliak-Man, his first time on the field today, and he wants to throw. And he's going to give it up to one of his jump ball targets, KJ Duff, at 6'6", and it's second down.
If I told you 2 years ago that you were going to see a quarterback duel between Rutgers and Oregon, you may not believe me, but that's exactly what we have on our plate today. Nathan Kaliak-Manis has been one of the best quarterbacks in the Big Ten. Look at those career numbers. Just a significant jump. 12% in completion percentage, almost 300 yards a game, over 2 touchdowns per game. You know, Greg Schiano likes to run the ball and play defense to lead his team to victory, but it's really been Kaliak-Manis that has been leading his team to victory.
On second down, he wants Duff again, and he got caught up. Covered well that time by Brandon Finney. That's the guy Brooke just talked about. And now it's third down. Now, Rutgers spends a ton of time on this side of the field this year. The question is, can they cash in with points? 41 plays in opponent's territory per game. That's over half of their plays. And now they hurry up to third down. And again to the air. And again for Duff. And another jump ball. And Finney wins the battle.
Man, it's going to be a battle all day today, Guy. I mean, Brandon Finney, he's a true freshman. You'd have no idea, though, if you just watched this film. This guy looks like a junior or a senior. He's playing not just as a freshman All-American level, but an All-American level, and it's going to be a big test there. KJ Duff is 6'6". We see the game plan for Rutgers. They want to throw jump balls and 50-50 balls to their tall, lengthy wide receivers, but Brandon Finney in perfect position. He's 6'2", Guy. That length helped him break that one up.
Now Jay Patel to try and tie a career-long 51-yard attempt, and Rutgers is able to take advantage of the turnover from Oregon. Well, it's been an absolutely gorgeous weekend here. Sunny and clear and crisp into the evening now. In time, perfect conditions for bed races on homecoming weekend.
Hey guys, you guys are supposed to avoid the wall.
Got to talk to the engineering team though. Those kart races, they weren't built very aerodynamic.
Okay, we'll get you out there next year as a consultant. So second time that Scallion has kicked off today, and he sends this into the end zone, and back comes the Oregon offense. And let's go back, Jake. These two teams are among the 8 in the nation that haven't committed a fumble. Oregon's now off that list.
I was going to say, we need to take another look at this because it's like finding a four-leaf clover, but a great job by the safety, number 9, Jet Elad, transferred in from UNLV. They've had high hopes for him all season. I'd say that's probably the biggest play he's made for this team, one of them on the season, and Jordan Walker was right there waiting to take advantage of it. We're wondering how are they going to bounce back.
So after the first lost fumble of the year, Moore to the air, and he throws to Noah Whittington, who's tackled after a short gain by Jacoby Henderson. The question is, can they protect better than they did last week against Indiana?
I was going to say, you know, we always want to talk about the skill position with the Ducks, but I got my eyes on the offensive line.
Back to Whittington, and he churns forward, and it's third down. Two clear keys when we talk to the Rutgers staff against Oregon today.
Yeah, Coach Schiano said it's about setting the edge defensively. Felt they didn't do a good enough job against Washington, and you have to set the edge against the speed of Oregon. You want to force them back inside where your pursuing defenders are. And then, as is true with the skill positions of Oregon and all the different formations and route concepts they run, Schiano said they need to have eye discipline in the secondary.
On third down, the pitch. And Whittington has room to run around the edge and more. Whittington gets a block. He's down the sideline. And Noah Whittington scores! Touchdown, Oregon! "68 yards. Well, he's back. The sixth-year man had nagging injuries, no longer.
And he had great blocking from his offensive line, from his running back mate. I believe that was the freshman Jordon Davison in there at fullback, out leading the way. He was untouched, guy, until, I mean, pretty much the entire run he was untouched.
Now Atticus Sappington on for the point after.
And it always helps to build your confidence when you got the big fellas up front leading the way. You want to see some good football. Watch the way the Ducks lead the back around the edge. Great block from Isaiah World, and a great job by Whittington here, tight roping down the sideline. You see the speed. I'll say he's healthy, guy. The Ducks loving it. They're up 7-3.
And now Atticus Sappington is going to kick it away. And Ben Black will let it go.
At some point, Rutgers is going to have to run the ball, and they got a good back in Antoine Raymond. He's almost like a copy and paste of Kyle Monungai. And even though Ian Strong's their leading receiver, I think KJ Duff is going to be the guy that has to step up, use that 6'6" frame. They got to cover him. He's the freshman, number 4, Brandon Finney Jr., playing at an All-American level, and the defensive tackle, Amari Washington. Guy, that's the type of body and player that NFL scouts are dreaming of right now. That interior guy that's 330 pounds but can move like a good pass rusher. They got a first-round talent in Amari Washington.
Rutgers' first possession was 3 throws and then a field goal after that Oregon fumble. So the first run of the game for Antoine Raymond's going nowhere. And you mentioned Amari Washington. It feels like they have finally found a running mate inside with him. It's been an ongoing battle, and Bear Alexander once again is winning it, getting the start again up front next to Amari Washington for this Oregon defense. DT Sheffield, that's the other receiver. We mentioned KJ Duff and Ian Strong, but they've got 3 guys that are Biletnikoff Award watch list pass catchers, one of just 3 teams in the country that can say that. Pressure, and it's batted away. Washington and Uiagalelei had the pressure, and Washington got a big paw up, and now it's third down.
Well, Oregon defensive coordinator Tosh LaPoy, he's building some heavy boxes right now. They're going to come downhill and pressure and attack Callie McManus. Didn't get home, but you can still affect the quarterback without getting home, and a good job by Washington getting his hands up there and batting the ball down.
A lot of the Eastern-based scouts, as you mentioned, some of the body types, the talent, a lot of those Eastern-based scouts, Northeastern-based scouts are down on the field pregame watching Oregon warm up, and they had close eyes on him. DT Sheffield, tough catch, but it's now 4th down and a long 4, almost 5 for Rutgers.
Once again, not giving up much to the Scarlet Knights.
Jacob Anderson stretching it out and now finally gets it away. And by the time he does, his cover team is almost to Gary Bryant Jr. That worked perfectly. Well done by Bryant to make that catch under duress. Time for Impact Players, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense. when Oregon's got the ball, Jake.
Well, in my humble opinion, I think Kenyon Sadiq is the best tight end in all of college football, and I think Will Stein would agree. It just becomes a matter of they got to get him the ball more often. And the same could be said about the running back Dierre Hill, another talented freshman that's liable to score from anywhere on the field. On the flip side for the Scarlet Knights, Jabome is their best defensive player. He's the heartbeat there in the middle. Already highlighted Elad when he forced the fumble there on Oregon's first drive at the safety position.
Well, you won the Mackey Award, so I think your humble opinion is welcome when it comes to who's the best tight end in the country. Noah Whittington had a big run for a touchdown the last time he touched it, and Kaj Sanders is there to tackle him. But after another good gain, 5 yards on first down for the Ducks.
Really interested to see how this offensive line plays, and they already paved the way for that first Noah Whittington touchdown. But to me, the game was really lost and controlled. The Hoosiers won the line of scrimmage last week, and I believe the Ducks have one of the best offensive lines in college football. I want to see how they respond this week.
Whittington again. And it's third down. So what do they do here on third down? Moore on the move. Throws to McClellan. Did he stay in bounds? Yes, he did. Nice catch and a first down for Jeremiah McClellan, a freshman, 16 yards. And let's take another look, Jake.
Another freshman. And he tiptoes the sideline. Great catch. And, you know, this is the challenge with the Oregon offense. That was a great job by Rutgers secondary. They passed off every route, but Dante will just put it where you can't stop it.
And now he throws far to the other side, incomplete, looking for more. We love what Dan Lanning told us. It's something he said a lot since he got to Oregon. If you're good enough, you're old enough. And this team represents that on both sides. If you're good enough, you're old enough. They started freshmen on opening day. Dakorien Moore was one, Brandon Finney the other. There's only been 6 other guys in Oregon history that have done that.
Yeah, and I really think that just hits to the culture of Dan Lanning is, hey, listen, guys, we want to win football games. We're going to play the best players, period, and everybody's going to get an opportunity to play. And so far, these freshmen have been shining for the Ducks.
Inside run this time, and the pressure was ready for it. Rutgers defense all over it. And now it's third down. Freshman back Jordon Davison has come into the game. And he stands beside Dante Moore. And he picks up pressure to give more time to throw a strike to Kenyon Sadiq. A conversion on 3rd and 10 and into Rutgers territory. Pick up a 24.
Well, that's the same look Rutgers showed on the prior third down, and it's a 0 look, but they dropped out of it. That's the simulated pressure, the same thing that Indiana did last week and Dante struggled with. Didn't struggle with it that time.
Gets it out quickly to Cooper Perry. 6th catch of the year for Perry.
We should go back to that previous play, though. It was a great job by the Oregon offensive line. Rutgers had all those red jerseys at the line of scrimmage and then dropped out. They only rushed 4. The O-line picked it up, and that allowed Dante Moore to work all the way back to his backside read, hitting his pass catcher for the first down.
It shows the trust they have in Jordon Davison. On 3rd and long, he stayed in. Rutgers brought the pressure. He picked it up. Now Moore fakes it to him. Fakes again and throws into traffic. And Sadiq makes a really difficult catch. A double clutch completion on both ends.
Well, this is a really unique screen. Almost looked like Sadiq was going to start out to the flat like he was running some of those plays that Oregon's run once or twice already, and then comes back underneath to run the tunnel screen. Just didn't catch it clean. Otherwise, there was some green grass there, and you could see Will Stein just trying to find ways to put the ball in the hands of his talented tight end.
That was a great look. It looked like a backdoor cut in basketball.
Now, Dante Moore is a liable runner. Keep an eye on his legs here on 3rd down.
There he goes. And he converts. And Moore stumbles down. A flag comes in. We'll see the result of the penalty. He feels like he stumbled away from a touchdown. It would have perhaps been in the paint if he could have stayed on his feet, but we'll check on this flag.
Offense, 10-yard penalty, still results in first down.
We didn't get a number on it. I do think it's Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end here on the left side of your screen. Just keep an eye on it. Got a handful of jersey, and yep, they're going to see that when the defender disengages and gets to the half man, and there's Pregnon out in space.
Jake, you're 1-for-1 predicting plays. Moore in rhythm. End zone. Sadiq. Did he get there? first down. And a beauty. 30 yards.
Well, this is the Dante Moore that we've come to love and expect to see on a week-in, week-out basis. This is high level. Look at his eyes here to the start of the play, guide. Single high coverage. So Dante's looking out to the left the whole time. He knew he was coming backside down the seam to his tight end, Kenyon Sadiq. And Dante Moore flexing his muscles after that one.
And now Sappington on for the point after, maybe. James Ferguson Reynolds, the punter and the holder, stands back behind in that shotgun. And now they are going to snap for the 2-point and convert. A flag comes in. It's the tight end Roger Saliapaga who came up to take the snap.
Illegal formation, huh? Oh.
So offsetting penalties, offsides and illegal formation.
So let's see. Yeah. Got 3 in the backfield. And really this is something you have to expect with the Ducks. They get into this kind of muddle huddle, this strange looking huddle, and really when you do that, guy, you're just looking for advantageous numbers. They didn't even have the right numbers there, but they caught Rutgers kind of standing up vertically, and they wanted to run that kind of mock quarterback sneak into standing up defenders.
So your run-of-the-mill extra point, when it's all said and done, it's 14-3.
Not as exciting.
Oregon. Will Stein told us this week in practice, Dante Moore, the quarterback, said to him, the real Kenyon Sadiq is back. He predicted it, and then he delivered.
Were the tailgaters here for the game or to see the Rizzler? Or both?
Both. And what they want to see right now is their offense come on and strike back, because Oregon's had 2 quick. Can Rutgers jump start on offense here? A 3-play possession that resulted in a field goal after a turnover, the only score. Oregon's defensive line seemed to dominate the last possession. And Kaliak-Manis gets it out quickly this time, and it's caught by Kenny Fletcher, the tight end.
Putting a hat for a hat on Rutgers' offensive line, forcing Kaliak-Manis to throw the ball. And now they're in a 4-man front.
And the run for Raymond. And he pushes forward for what should be a first down. Tackled there by Bryce Betcher for the 2nd year in a row, the leading tackler for the Ducks. But that one moves the chains.
Well, sometimes football really can be that simple. When Oregon has been in their 5-man defensive surface, Rutgers has thrown the ball. That time, Oregon gets into the 4-man defensive surface, and they hand the ball off.
Surface meaning what? The guys on the line of scrimmage?
Yep. You see it right here. You see the 4 linemen right there, and then there's 2 stacked backers. So it's a 4-man, 4-2-5 defense.
That was the first down today for Rutgers offense. And Kaliak-Manis wants to throw. Under pressure. Gets away from one and then heaves it past the line of scrimmage. Did he get out of the pocket?
Well, this is why the near sack happened. Kaliak-Manis is looking downfield, and he's used to these wide receivers being open. There's just nothing down the field. You see Brandon Finney there running with Ian Strong, and Kaliak-Manis is forced to throw the ball away because there's just nothing open down the field.
And he did get just out of the pocket with the ball on the hash mark. He got to the middle of the field to avoid the intentional grounding. Now 2nd down. Pressure up the middle. Picked up. DT Sheffield squeezes it. Tough catch. And that'll bring up 3rd down and short.
And looks a little dinged up. Not sure if he hit the turf hard when Kennedy was in coverage. But they're going to need him, man. These 3 guys are 1, 2, 3 great weapons for Kaliak-Manis.
There goes Sheffield sprinting in motion on 3rd and short. Raymond dances his way for a first down. Good run.
It looks a lot like Kaliak-Manis. You know, they just hit copy and paste. Apparently, Raymond's been having an outstanding year. Another smaller back, 5'11", 205 pounds. He's very compact, but he's got that agility and vision to find the right hole and then get downhill.
You're saying he's Kyle Monungai 2.0?
Kyle Monungai, yes, my bad. I said Kaliak-Manis. Monungai, exactly.
But that's high praise. I mean, to be able to run like that
running styles, they remind me of one another.
Kaliakmanis ball comes out, and Rutgers is able to recover it. Tatum Tuioti off the edge, swatted it away, and it was recovered by Kwabena Asamoah. Is this a pass?
Oh, yeah. That is a strip sack. Yeah, no, that's a fumble. Tuioti, guy, this is the most underrated defensive lineman in the Big Ten, in my opinion. When you think about the Ducks defensive line, you think about Uiagalelei, you think about Amari Washington. We highlighted the story of Bear Alexander, but Tuioti is really, really special opposite of Uiagalelei, and what that forces opposing offenses to do, they can never relax at the tackle position knowing the Ducks have two great pass rushers.
A loss of 7 yards on that play. And so to the ground, and Raymond spinning his way through, still moving forward and moving forward some more.
I mean, Raymond, we told you he's 5'11", 205 pounds. It's not like he's a 250-pound bruiser, but really, really strong and carrying a ton of bodies. Had some help from the offensive line to knock him downfield.
That was 2nd and 17. 10-yard pickup makes it 3rd and 7. And now Oregon's defense crowds the line of scrimmage. And Greg Schiano doesn't like the look of things.
They're showing that same zero pressure look. Looks like they might drop out of it this time.
And they do. But pressure comes from the edge, and it's complete to Strong. Makes one man miss and comes up short of the line to gain, but it's 4th and very short. Finney made the stop, and the question now, do you go for this? This is a good 4th down team. They do it a lot. In the shotgun on 4th and 1 to run it. Raymond got it easily. And a good crowd, a sellout crowd tonight loves it. They have run the ball well. No panic from offensive coordinator Kirk Shiraka on this possession.
Yeah, and it was a great job here by the left side of the offensive line. Watch the left tackle, 56, Needham. He washes that out. The left guard, Felter, he climbs. Get your back up to the 2nd level on a 4th and 1. Great blocking.
Before this 10th play, the back-to-back touchdowns for the Ducks. Kaliakmanis batted up, jump ball, intercepted. Oregon took it away. And now a late flag comes in, or a flag comes in after the play. And the Ducks come out of the pile with it. The pick.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 50, 15-yard penalty again, 1st down.
So the dead ball penalty against Oregon. But the interception stands. Oh, is Washington again? It's his 2nd deflection today, Jake.
That is a proud point for defensive linemen, too. They collect these things, and they're taught if you don't feel you can get to the quarterback, get your hands up. And that time, Kaliakmanis was working all the way to his backside read. Again, the coverage plays a big piece of this because there was just nowhere to go with the football. Gets all the way to his backside check down. Tries to hit it, but Washington's there to knock it up in the air.
Back-to-back touchdown drives for Oregon, and Dante Moore back out there. And he wants to throw. And he layers it to Gary Bryant Jr. for an explosive play and a 1st down.
Dante, he's just so good, man. He can make every throw. We've seen him stand tall in the pocket. They love these boot actions, especially out to the right. Look at that ball just feathered in there. Tight spiral, cutting right through the wind. And that's a big-time hit down the field on Gary Bryant.
Welcome back. The start of the 2nd quarter about to get underway here. Coach, a strong start for your defense. How can they take this momentum back here on this drive?
Yeah, we've made some mistakes that have allowed big plays, so really great throw and catch on the 1 touchdown, but the 1st run we just busted something, so just got to settle down and keep playing hard. They're playing physical. That's what I asked them to do. We just got to settle down.
Thanks, Coach.
Well, Greg Schiano told us the way his team played last Friday night at Washington was their most physical performance of the year. He was happy with it. He knew they'd have another one coming today. Little trick play, fake the end around. Jordon Davison takes it on the direct snap and picks up a 1st down to start the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, he said last week was Rutgers' defense most physical game of the season, and he felt with all the speed and trickery and exotic formations that Oregon likes to get to offensively, he said the key is to be the most physical team today.
2 tight ends and a running back beside the football. And Malik Benson in motion. He'll take the jet sweep, and he runs into space, and he goes flying inside the 25-yard line. Another first down.
So it looks like Oregon is getting into a pre-scripted 3-play sequence right here, where this comes from the sideline, and all these players know exactly what 1, 2 in the third play, now this play is. They practice this all week.
It's another trick. It's Bryant. Back to Dante Moore. To the end zone. Sadiq! He caught it again! Another spectacular catch for a touchdown. He's shaken up, but he's going to get up and celebrate the score.
Thankfully, he nodded his head after he got up, too. Hopefully, he just knocked the wind out of him, or just a little bruise. He was high up there. You know, it's a long way to fall coming down on the turf. This guy's got a 40-plus inch vert.
Gage Hurrick is on for the PAT. And he's got it.
Well, let's go back. Let's look at that entire sequence, because really it's not just one play. It's 3 plays working as one. Here's the very first play, and you got Davison running out to the left sideline. They want to stretch you out to the left side of the field. Then they come up. They do not huddle. They get in and run a jet sweep to the right sideline. So you see all these red jerseys running sideline to sideline, and they're doing it with tempo, so you don't get a chance to catch your breath. Now they show you sideline to sideline action, but really it's a flea flicker that gets Sadiq wide open in a heck of a catch by the tight end, man. Way to go up there and get it.
Wow. Said it before, and I'll say it again. Dante Moore told Will Stein in practice, we're seeing Kenyon, right? Will Stein, he's been in this building twice before as a quarterback at Louisville. His first time here as a coach. And he told us Kenyon Sadiq is ready to break out. This is the guy they want to feed. He's the #1 option, and he's been a man of his word today.
Well, we had their game week 1, and he told us, he's like, the biggest regret I have of the 2024 season is I didn't get Sadiq enough touches. He said coming into this year, his goal was to get him 80 touches. He might have been joking a little bit, but the truth is, last week against Indiana, not enough touches. And Stein knew that. Clearly a correction today, feeding their star tight end.
Second touchdown of the day for Sadiq. Fair catch there from Ben Black. We mentioned Will Stein, the moment for him. He threw his first career touchdown pass here in 2010 as a quarterback at Louisville. Then in 2012, he's here with his then girlfriend, now wife, Darby, who's back home in Eugene watching this game with their son Joey and daughter Demi. And that was a spectacular day, too, because he and Teddy Bridgewater co-led a victory that got Louisville to the Sugar Bowl. And Will was a happy man when he came into our meeting last night, given the way his alma mater was playing. An explosive offensive first half for Oregon after turning it over on the first possession of all things. And now Antoine Raymond bottled up, and let's go down to Brooke.
Dan Lanning told me he was really impressed with just the accountability that Dante Moore took this week and just growing as a leader. Dante has told me one thing he really needs to hone in on is just the communication with his guys. He actually called a few extra meetings this week just to get everybody on the same page with those playmakers, refocus on communication, and remind the offense it's all about that one play in one game at a time, guys.
It's such a key, right? You hear it from coaches every week, Jake. Player-led teams. Can your players lead you? And listening to what Brooks said, it's clear the Ducks feel like they have that. Kaliak-Manis, long throw and connection. Nice snag by K.J. Duff. And Rutgers needed that, a first down.
Well, that's going to be what it is today. There's not going to be open wide receivers. There's not going to be guys running free down the sideline. K.J. Duff and Ian Strong, we've seen DT Sheffield have to do it. They're going to have to win in contested catch situations. This Oregon Ducks secondary, they do not give up an inch. Good job that time by Duff, reaching out his 6'6" frame, coming down with it to move the chains.
They also don't give up many points in the first half. They average 5 points allowed per
Fumble.
first half this year, and Oregon's got it again. They just had an interception, and now they say they've got the football on a fumble. Neither team had fumbled coming into the day and lost a fumble. Oregon's lost a fumble. Now let's see, has Rutgers lost a fumble? There's two things here. One is going to be who recovered it, And the second thing is going to be, was it definitely a fumble? Well, Oregon recovered it. That's part two. Theran Johnson came out of the pile with it. Did this ball come out? Definitely it did. Aaron Flowers. What a collision.
Yeah. And Flowers has been awesome this year, too. He's been a great tackler, a huge piece of their run defense success, and just technique, putting their hat and shoulder pads on the football. Fumble, Oregon Ducks football.
Well, they do know how to put on a great show here at Rutgers. It's been another great one so far. Pre-game, in-game entertainment here for homecoming. But Oktoberfest has belonged to the Ducks so far. They've had some explosive plays. They just created the second Rutgers turnover of the night. Dierre Hill, the freshman running back, is coming to the game, and he's going to take the pitch. The first time he's touched it today, and he's got a first down in space.
This is a really unique scheme. So they pull the right tackle. Watch this, and they leave the front side edge unblocked. Look at this. And then they just run basically a quick predetermined speed option, just putting the ball in Dierre Hill's hands.
And Oregon's keeping their foot down on the gas. Back to Hill. Hill stays on his feet to churn for a couple more. Good gain.
Yeah, I mean, their backfield, too, guy, it's like a NASCAR race. I mean, they just go over to the sideline, change their tires, and bring in a fresh stud running back.
Thunder and lightning is what they call the two freshmen, Davison and Hill. Hill's lightning. Back to the air for Moore. Back to the end zone. And this time it's Dakorien Moore for the score.
Well, like you said there, Guy, it's there is no hangover at all. This offense is executing on all cylinders. And this guy, Dakorien Moore, we've highlighted some of the talented freshmen that the Oregon Ducks have on their roster. Dakorien Moore is just another one. A guy that's playing like a 3 or 4 year vet. He's playing like an NFL receiver already, and wait until you get a look at this route that he just hit Rutgers with. Guy, a double move, sells it to the corner, bang, puts his foot in the ground. This is teach tape right here.
Atticus Sappington took that extra point, and he made it. So a couple different kickers Oregon's used tonight. Here's another look, Jake.
Well, this freshman phenom, Dakorien Moore, watch him right here. We told you, he sells the corner route, puts his foot in the ground, and has Sanders completely lost. And Dante Moore showing one of his talented pass catchers some love.
Dante, the quarterback, he's got 5 straight completions of at least 20 yards, and 3 of them have been for touchdowns. Now Atticus Sappington back out to kick it off, and Ben Black will fair catch it. And let's go back to Dakorien Moore's touchdown.
Okay, I want to highlight again. He's a freshman, okay? Remember that. I say that for a reason. Watch him on this double move. A lot of young guys, they do not sell the first route. But once we freeze this right here, if you freeze it, Guy, all you would say is he's running a corner route. So he starts to the corner before he puts his foot in the ground. This is something that NFL veterans do. Most freshmen, they get all excited. They're running a double move. They just kind of barely look to the outside or take one step. Dakorien Moore, he ran a corner route until he didn't. That's how he created the separation.
34-yard touchdown. And Kaliak Manis and Rutgers just looking. I mean, their last couple of drives, they were able to create some movement too high for DT Sheffield. Remember, they had a drive 2 possessions ago that was 10 plays and into Oregon territory before an interception.
Good job selling your eyes. Ross Douglas, the wide receiver coach down there, Guy. Did you know he was one of my roommates in college? We were freshmen together at the University of Michigan.
Oh, we need to get him a mic. We have a lot of questions. Ethan Kaliak Manis going to the tight end Fletcher, and it's out of his reach. And now it's 3rd down. All right, time for the trivia question brought to you by T-Mobile. Who was the last Rutgers quarterback to lead their conference in completions per game in a single season? That is something that Ethan Kaliak Manis has done so far, leading the Big Ten in completions per game entering play to that. We don't know what Jake does in his free time and if he has Googled the answer to that one.
I've been getting burned on the trivia this year. I've been humbled by the trivia.
Kaliak Manis, pressure, got away from Muyunga. Gets away from the second man, but not Bear Allen. Alexander, a big bear with.
You ever heard a defensive coach say, we want to have a relentless pass rush? Well, that is a relentless pass rush right there. You see bodies flying around, and look at the ground Uiagalelei had to cover. He came from the left side all the way around, missed Kaliakmanis, hit the ground, pushes himself back up, and finishes with the near sack, I believe. Yeah, that'll be a 1-yard carry for Kaliakmanis on the stat sheet.
This time, Jacob Anderson kicks it away quickly to Gary Bryant, and textbook, he got hit right away. Second quarter, 28-3, Oregon lead. Time to answer this trivia question. Who was the last Rutgers quarterback to lead the conference in completions per game in a single season? You got to guess?
I'm done guessing. Tell me the answer.
I'll guess Mike Teal. Mike Teal, 2008. That was a big year here with Kenny Britt in the Big East. They started slowly that year and then really caught fire halfway through in 08.
You had to notice the framing of the question. Lead their conference.
That's right.
The Big Ten.
Yeah, that's a good point. Noah Whittington back to work for the Ducks. Already a 68-yard touchdown run for him today.
Over a first down per touch.
He gets another. Good block in front. Patient run. And he's got a first down. Another chunk run.
Yeah, the offensive line is just road grading. Look at these guys pulling around. Look at the left guard, Emmanuel Pregnon, left tackle Isaiah World. I mean, these are big boys. Isaiah World 6'8", 320. Pregnon is 6'5", 320. And those guys are moving light on their feet for two big, nasty offensive linemen.
They have responded after last week's frustrations. Now Dante Moore wants to throw. Dakorien Moore again. Foot in the ground. One man. And the second man finally holds him up long enough. 30-yard pickup.
I mean, this guy is just so polished. We showed you the double move last time, and this time working the release at the line of scrimmage. And that's Rutgers really trying to double him. That's Henderson sitting down kind of in that cover 2 zone and trying to pass that off to his safety, Elad. But Dante Moore is just too good and puts it right down in the pocket. And there's what you were saying there, Dan Lanning. Protect the football, no fumbles. Good job, young man.
The freshman from Duncanville, Texas, who has lived up to the billing. Now it's back to Whittington. Huge hole. Whittington's through it and gone.
Well, I mean, the blocking in the trenches of this Duck offensive line is great. Watch the center reach this tilted nose. Poncho, this is not an easy job. That nose is staring down on you. Get some help from his left guard, Pregnon. And, man, it must be nice to play running back for the Oregon Ducks. Whittington almost untouched into the end zone.
10 for 120 on the ground for Whittington. A couple of touchdowns. Poncho Lalaulu, the center, spoke this week. Big leader. He sounded like a man who had no doubt his team would respond this way. He was right. Sappington the point after. Gage Hurrick. We're seeing 2 kickers today for Oregon. Hurrick has kicked the point after. Atticus Sappington has done it too. Now Hurrick's going to kick it away. Not seeing nearly the heavy rotation running back, and it's working well for Oregon. Look at the total yards. Trayshawn Benjamin is the back, and he'll get it. A good run for him. So Rutgers, a passing game that has struggled to get going today, and will be back in 30 seconds. That is Ian Strong, who is 3rd in the country in receiving yards per game. You see them looking at his left ankle, and we take a look at the replay here.
Rutgers player presented as injured after the ball was spotted. Therefore, Rutgers will be charged a team timeout.
That initial.
You may have heard the announcement there from Greg Blum. Because the ball was spotted before Ian Strong went down injured, 2 things can happen. Either it's a 5-yard penalty, or Rutgers can use a timeout to avoid the penalty, which is what they did. So Ben Black, the receiver, replaces Strong as Kaliakmanis. You see the numbers there in the lower right-hand corner. 5 of 13 so far tonight, for what's been a well-oiled passing machine this year. Antoine Raymond gets bottled up and pulled down, and it's now 3rd down and a long 3. Mateo Uiagalelei all over that one. Play clock is down to 4. Kaliak-Manis gives. And Raymond's able to pick up the first down. Good run. Rutgers scored on the opening possession of the game thanks to a fumble from Oregon. They kicked a 51-yard field goal, and that's been it. They had a good drive of 10 plays earlier in the half, stalled out because of a turnover. Kaliak-Manis throws. Nice catch by KJ Duff on the back hip. And it'll bring up second and short. And now Kaliak-Manis looks to the sideline for the signals. All right, here we go, Jake. What do we got?
I couldn't tell you. There's a lot going on there.
It's like one of those stadium races where you have to pick a car.
Yeah, the trick is make sure you're looking at the right guy, though. That's.
I got green. Play clock at 5. Oh, Kaliak-Manis did give it, which was the right decision, but it results in nothing. He was just faced with 2 bad options. You ever see somebody come to a game dressed as a referee or an umpire? Like, if that's not a Halloween costume this year.
Well, I'm interested how they get the Rutgers. The Rutgers are on there, but without the red coloring. Who do they have to talk to?
Nike. And they get it done, just like Antoine Raymond on that run. And it's a first down.
See, I'm looking at the Oregon's got blue, red, and yellow down here. It's a little better contrast against the white jerseys, you know?
Well, there you see the defense, yep.
Those are your primary colors as well, Guy.
I knew you would know that. So we got headsets. The headsets work for both teams up to 15 seconds on the play clock. You got the signals and you got signs. You can see in that Oregon sideline. Here comes pressure on first down. Picked up. Kaliak-Manis. Bust. Sheffield. And it just off his fingertips.
Oh, he had him. I mean, Sheffield was all by himself in the back of the defense. Completely just dropped coverage, a blown coverage. Oh, and you cannot miss these opportunities playing against a team as good as Oregon, and Ethan knows that. That's just not one. He won't have another easy opportunity like that all day. And it was a good job, too. The running back, Benjamin, I mean, he put his body on the line to pick up the pressure to give that one a chance. Just couldn't make it happen.
8th play of this possession. And a strong run that time from Ja'Shawn Benjamin. Some pushing and shoving way down the field. This game's gotten a little chippy, as you might imagine, when it's 35-3. It was KJ Duff tied up down there with Theran Johnson.
Well, it is a physical game, okay? I mean, I understand the score, but make no mistake about it. These teams are hitting one another. That's what Greg said. He wants his team to be physical. That time I saw Fletcher pancake, I believe it was Tuioti, the defensive end, and we've highlighted Oregon's offensive line, so they're going back and forth with each other.
Third down. It wasn't interesting. Both coaching staffs, when we talked to them this week, in some variation of words said, when you watch the film, you can tell the other coaching staff loves ball. They both complimented each other in that way. Here's Benjamin with a third down run. That'll bring up down for Rutgers. Kaliak-Manis. There's DT Sheffield and a first down conversion for the Scarlet Knights.
Well, Sheffield's been the go-to guy. He's working out of that slot position. He's really agile, really quick. You'll see him just come right on the screen there, working inside on that slant route. Good to see number 0, Dalen Austin, back in the lineup. Usually that's Kennedy at the nickel position. That time it was Austin, and DT Sheffield beat him for the first down.
Strong has not returned since going out with that ankle injury earlier on this possession. He was able to walk off. Kaliak-Manis has a first down opportunity to fade it towards the end zone for Ben Black, and it's broken up. Theran Johnson, who's part of that competition at the corner opposite of the young star Brandon Finney, with a big play.
And that's where the injury to Ian Strong makes, you know, that ball is supposed to go to Ian Strong, who's 6'3", and actually it didn't matter anyways. That was a great pass. It hits Ben Black right in his hands. Not an easy catch by any stretch, but one maybe Ian Strong makes. Just, I mean, that is a beautiful ball by Kaliak-Manis, giving his guy a chance down the field.
This is a team that averages 36 points a game, 7th best in the league entering today. Antoine Raymond bounces off of Uyunglele, but cannot get away from Devin Jackson. The only silver lining would be if they could score a touchdown and not give the ball back to Oregon before the half. But you're not in the clock game right now, down 35-3. You're in the need to score game. Oregon's bringing 0. Look at this. Everybody at the line on 3rd down. And they then bring 3. Kaliak-Manis spins away and dives forward. Little Olay there on Bear Alexander. 4th down coming up for Rutgers as we hit the 2-minute timeout. More scenes from the Rutgers boardwalk today. You see plenty of Oregon fans made the migration. First time these two have ever met in football. 35-3. Good to see Ian Strong back in for Rutgers, the receiver at 6'3", one of their stars at the bottom of the screen, wearing 9 in red. It's 4th down and 5.
And he's matched up on Brandon Finney Jr., a guy that they really haven't thrown at since early in the game.
Kaliak-Manis steps up and it's incomplete. Jersey got grabbed as he tried to let it go.
I really think Kaliak-Manis should have just tucked the ball and ran for the 5 or 6 yards. Here's what I'm talking about, Guy. Oregon is just rushing 4. They're playing cover 2 man behind it. A good job by the Rutgers offensive line washing everybody by, but right there off the screen, if he just continues on, it was nothing but green grass. He could have gotten the 5 or 6 yards.
So Oregon takes over with 1:57 to go, 3 timeouts, an eternity for this offense. Dante Moore just feeling his way out of trouble and stepping out of bounds. Take a look at By the Numbers, sponsored by Gatorade. These are his last 6 completions have all been at least 20 yards.
It's video game numbers. It's almost ridiculous and unbelievable. I really feel like he's the best quarterback in all of college football. And I know last week was frustrating, and Indiana, give him a ton of credit, but to me, that all that is an anomaly. I just, what you're seeing today is a quarterback bouncing back, or really just getting back to who he is. Last week just is not who he is.
Play clock at 1, and they get it off. And Moore's going to load up and take a shot for Malik Benson, and he can't bring it down.
He's the speedy guy, the Florida State transfer. There's been a few times where he's been able to take the top off a defense, and there was pressure. Dante Moore was going to take a hit, so he had to just get rid of the ball, but just a little underthrown, and that gave number 10 Henderson just enough time to run underneath it and get into good coverage position.
Pressure picked up. Moore cuts it loose, and on the money to Jamari Johnson. Johnson down the sideline, a stiff arm, and finally gets tackled down inside the 20.
Well, with Kenyon Sadiq a little injured, a little beat up right now, how about Jamari Johnson, the bigger tight end at 6'5", nearly 260 pounds, and taking Kaj Sanders to school right there on the corner route. As a tight end, man, when you see one-on-one coverage and no safety help, you know that it's your time to win and use your big body. Great job there by Johnson, winning on time and giving Dante Moore a friendly throw.
There's Davison. You said Oregon brought 2 planes. They might have brought a 3rd just for Jamari Johnson's friends and family. We saw them in the lobby at the Team Hotel. It looked like 2 buses worth of people here to support him today.
I bet they're fired up too. I mean, usually it's Sadiq that gets all the firepower. I mean, Johnson had the key touchdown against Penn State, but that's a big catch there on 3rd down.
So here is 2nd down. The total yardage just piling up for Oregon, and now movement up front, and Oregon reacted to it.
Offside. Number 94. The defense causing the offense to react. 5-yard penalty. Lay it down.
It's Bradley Weaver coming up at halftime. Dave Revson, Howard Griffith, Marcel Reese. First half reaction. Buckeyes and Hoosiers dominate. And Terry Smith's first game for Penn State. That's coming up at the half. Believe it or not, this is Oregon's first red zone trip today. They've got 35 points, and this is their first trip in the red zone.
Offside by the defense qualifies for a 10-second runoff. However, Oregon declined the 10-second runoff portion of the penalty. 2nd down.
One thing to watch down here, I've seen Will Stein run some of these like tunnel screens and different wide receiver screens down here in the red zone.
Man movement again.
Offside. Defense. Catch. Second down.
You know, it's
How they get it off? Dante Moore looking. Wants to throw it back, and instead he just throws it out. Even his throwaways are pretty. That's just his second incompletion today.
And I just love that too. I mean, I know it's a throwaway and an incomplete pass, but it just, you see the poise of Dante Moore, never stressing, never pressing, complete understanding of the situation. It's first and goal. The only thing that can hurt us is a turnover. So I'll just throw the ball away and live to fight another down.
His third incompletion of the day. 13 of 16. Moore wants Johnson again. Johnson has it sail over his head. Now Whittington shifts near Moore in the backfield. And Moore's looking that way, and that is a catch. Did he catch it? Did he hold on? He sure did. What a catch from the running back. Noah Whittington, second touchdown today. He was all alone and still had to make a special play. Did he do it?
Looks like it. Different frame there. Noah Whittington, 5'8". Jamari Johnson, 6'5". So, little smaller catch radius, but a nice catch there by Whittington.
That looked like Kenyon Sadiq to me. That was a special catch. Oregon got down the field at, what, a minute, 15 seconds. Didn't need a timeout. 42 first half points, 43 seconds to go in the first half. We're back in 30.
Yeah, that timeout, remember they had to use a timeout when Ian Strong got injured. It's a big timeout as far as this situation applies.
They're 3 yards per play. They run it here on first down. And on a short gain, Dan Lanning, Oregon's got 3 timeouts. I think, they did not use one. I heard whistles there to stop the play. I wonder if he considered it. Now Rutgers is going to hurry it up, and Kaliak-Manis is going to take a deep shot. Now the clock stops at 17, and it's 3rd and 8. Take a look at the AP top 10 in this weekend's games. Miami lost. Of course, Indiana. Are we going to have number 1 and number 2 in the nation again in the Big Ten as we had earlier this year?
Yep. The AP Big Ten. Yeah, the best 2 teams in college football are the Hoosiers and the Buckeyes. Yes, the Hoosiers and the Buckeyes. And we'll see Oregon probably climb a little bit. Obviously, Ole Miss lost on the road to Georgia. Texas Tech went down too, yeah? Texas Tech, yeah.
It's the time of year, there's a handful of those unbeatens left, and slowly they go down. Antoine Raymond stopped. Oregon took it. So they want to try and set up a return here. And we'll take a quick break. 12 seconds. Jacob Anderson is back. Jake, you think Oregon might come after this?
I think you called the timeout to try to block this kick. They're going to try to get it from the backside, it looks like.
Anderson just gets it away. Gary Bryant's going to fair catch it with some traffic around him. 5 seconds, a couple of timeouts.
Take a knee. I want to go back to that AP top 10 though, Guy. I mean, what a fun season this has been. It's been absolute chaos. College football is always chaos, but it feels like this year more so than ever. And it's never been harder to go through a season unblemished and finish undefeated. I mean, right now it's Ohio State and Indiana there that remain undefeated. A&M, I believe, as well, right? But to go back to Oregon, when you do have a loss, what can you do to grow and adapt from it? Just like Ohio State did last year after their regular season losses.
Doesn't go far, and that is the end of the first half. 42-3. The Oregon Ducks in the chase for that belt after the loss to Indiana at home last week. They bring their 9-game road winning streak, the longest in the nation, into Piscataway. And so far have had it firing on all cylinders. 62 as well, and Brooke is on the field with Dan Lanning.
Coach, how did you see Dante Moore take command of this offense in the first half?
Yeah, he's making some great throws. He's doing a good job of doing what we ask him to do, and he's got players around him that are helping him do that.
You mentioned players around him. When Kenyon Sadiq gets going, how can he change the dynamic of this offense?
He's a special player, man, right? Got a couple unbelievable plays by him so far, and pleased with how he's blocking as well.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, a total turnaround for Oregon, the 8th-ranked team in the nation. The first time these two have ever met, and right now the Ducks are in control. Hilton, the first half numbers, 10 plays of over 20 yards for Oregon and 446 yards of offense. A dominant first half. We did have a great halftime band entertainment from Rutgers Band. They did songs from Lin-Manuel Miranda's great Broadway show, Hamilton, which is appropriate. It's the first time these two teams have met. But the lineage for the Ducks does have roots here in New Jersey. The University of Oregon, before it was the Ducks, they were the Webfoots. And the Webfoots were the name for these Massachusetts fishermen who helped get George Washington and his army across the Delaware River on the night of Christmas 1776 for what was a key battle in the Revolutionary War. They would fight that battle in Mercer County, just south of where we are now, the Battle of Trenton. And a lot of their descendants would then move on to Oregon and settle the Willamette Valley. And that's why Oregon was originally the Webfoots, and that's part of their lineage. Awesome. And so they've never played, but Oregon does have some roots here in Jersey. So there's your history lesson.
We do learn something every day, every time you tune into our show. Thank you. I did not know that. That is an awesome history lesson. I'm a football player, though. I skipped class. The first half there was some good football played by the Oregon Ducks guy.
After the loss to Indiana last week, we wondered, would they respond? And the answer has 7 exclamation points behind it, yes.
I mean, about as close to a perfect half as you could possibly play, right? I mean, I got to imagine Dan Lanning was struggling to find something to get on his team at halftime about to try to light a fire in them, but this is the exact response that he expected to see. And kind of that's what he told us in our meetings, guys. Hey, the good thing about adversity and the good thing when you lose is it's actually a chance for this team to elevate their standard and reach that next level. And it sure looks like they took that message to heart there in the first half because they were firing on all cylinders. Can I go back to your history lesson?
Okay.
Wasn't that when they took Washington across the? That was a surprise attack, right?
It was
because it was on Christmas.
Yeah, the night of
they
Christmas
said
and then
no
onto the
way
26th.
are they right. Okay.
Look at you, the Webfoot Regiment.
I find history very, very interesting.
Here's the other
awesome
part.
Note.
Here's one other note on that. Rutgers as an institution was founded 10 years before that.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Think about that.
Wow.
Imagine if they started playing football earlier.
Like breaking my mind. I know, that's crazy.
1766 is when Rutgers became a college. Offense will start it in the second half for the Scarlet Knights, and let's go down to Brooke Fletcher.
Guys, we saw many playmakers getting involved for this Oregon offense, especially guys from that freshman class. And Dan Lanning told me that's what impressed him most is how hard this group has worked to earn those opportunities. He said, Brooke, we got a saying around here. He said, if you're good enough, you're old enough. In this class, they have risen to that standard. But then when you got a guy like Brandon Finney, I love what he said. He said, it's not about pride. It's about expectations. And that expectation is to play at a championship level. And guys, I'd say they were pretty close to that in that first half.
Wasn't it great, too, to see Finney challenged on the first possession of the game today and answer the bell? Rutgers starts on the ground here in the second half, but they went right at Finney on the first series of the game after, Oregon, if you're just joining us, fumbled the third play of the game. Rutgers took over on the verge of the red zone, and they took 3 shots, and one of them was at Brandon Finney, and he made a great play. Brooke told us in the pregame just before kickoff about this young man from Owings Mills, Maryland, not far away from where we are now, 3-hour drive. And it looked everybody thought he was headed to Penn State to play near home. Tosh Lupoy told us that's what we expected. He came to Oregon and has been an instant impact freshman. Ethan Kaliak Manis throws complete to KJ Duff I like what you said in the first half, Jake. He's not. I don't think he's a freshman. Well, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you said he may not just be a freshman All-American, but an All-American.
Yeah, if you just watched his film and you said, what year do you think this guy is? The last guess you would ever have is that guy's a true freshman. You would think he's a third or fourth year player going on to get drafted in the first or second round of the NFL. I mean, he's 6'2". He's got legitimate NFL size and length. But what Tosh loves about him, though, he prepares like a veteran.
Antoine Raymond. The three. Ball junkie. That's what he called. That's what Tosh Lupoy called him, a ball junkie.
They said Tosh, to our viewers at home, Tosh, couldn't get in there using that 6'2" length. He does like the physicality. He's happy to get involved in the run game. But Tosh was telling us a story. It's like late at night. It's 11 o'clock. Everybody's leaving, and he sees like a light on in the DB room, and he goes in there, and Brandon Finney was watching defensive line cut-ups. He's like, why are you watching defensive line cut-ups? And he just wants to understand the total picture of each defense, because if he knows what the defensive line is doing, he can do his job better in context.
Kaliakmanis pressured by Tuioti and just floats it away. Well, he's been a great learner, and he's got a good teacher, too, not just in Tosh Lupoy, this coaching staff, but Dylan Thieneman, the transfer from Purdue.
Yeah.
He seems to take him under his wing and is imparting quite a bit of wisdom.
Actually, I mean, it's those two dudes competing for most minutes spent watching film on the season. I mean, those guys are, yes, they're film room junkies. They just love football and can't get enough of it. And I know as defensive guys, especially with Tosh Lupoy and Dan Lanning, they just love that. They got to eat it up.
Third down, pressure, and it's broken up. Kennedy, the nickelback, and maybe a little bit underrated. So much talent. Does Kennedy get enough attention? But a great play. A lot of traffic around Kaliakmanis as he threw this.
Watch this spin move by Tuioti up top, and I think Uyunglele hit him with one too. There's the spin move, but that's a double spin move. My goodness. And then just a big-time collision. Poor Kaliakmanis, he was just stuck in between two Oregon Duck defensive ends.
He hit Bear Alexander with a spin move in the first half, and defense decided to try it on. Is that scripted on that rush, you think?
I don't think so, no. No, I do not think so. It's just, I know Uyunglele loves the spin move. Tuioti broke it out there.
Finney was the one making pressure on that punt, and Oregon will take over deep in its own territory.
Well, Guy, if one spin move is good, two is even better. Watch this one. We call this the double spin move. You don't see it every day. Unfortunate for Kaliakmanis. He's the one that got a first-class seat for it.
Welcome back. Moments ago, Kenyon Sadiq came out of the locker room, followed by a trainer there behind him. He was walking up and down the sidelines. His teammates are dapping him up, just talking to him. But I've been keeping an eye on him. He has his helmet with him. I know there were some questions in the first half if he was dinged up, but I'll keep an eye on him, let you guys know once I know more.
All right, Brooke, he was spectacular in that first half, made two great catches. Here's a big run for Jordon Davison. Davison's into space. He's across midfield. Swipes a man away, fighting his way down inside the 25. They call him Thunder and Dierre Hill's Lightning, but Davison looked like both. 67 yards.
Well, how about him? I mean, he came into this season as a kind of a battering ram, a short yardage guy. He's 236 pounds, so he's uniquely built for those bang-bang situations, but we've only seen his role continue to grow. He had that key touchdown in the fourth quarter on the road at Penn State and was the leading rusher last week against Indiana, so a sign that the coaches really trust him, and you can see on that run why. But again, I go back and say, who wouldn't love to play running back for the Ducks with the way the offensive line is blocking?
It's such a great history of it. Davison, big hole, cuts it into the end zone. It's another Oregon touchdown.
Well, this is how it all comes together. It's on the offensive line, the tight ends. They have to get the back to the second level, and then watch it right here. Jordon Davison set up that little subtle move at the second level where Elad is just left grasping for air, untouched into the second level, and Davidson, who's a battering ram, makes him miss in the open field.
So Noah Whittington's got 11 carries for 125. Jordan Davison's got 3 for 100. Gage Hurrick for that point after, and it's 49 points for the Ducks. Really cool moment here during homecoming, the 1976 Rutgers men's basketball team honored. You see part of that Final Four with Indiana, Michigan, UCLA, all Big Ten members now. Of course, Indiana, the unbeaten national champs, but a great ovation for them during the break. Another fair catch.
Yeah, I mean, Penn State's on the road there at Kinnick. That is a tough place to play. Oregon be heading there after playing Wisconsin next weekend.
Good run for Jayshon Benjamin, and a first down out across the 40. You know, this game's a good reminder. I think the way that we think about fourth downs, and Rutgers is going to hurry up here, the way that we think about fourth downs has really evolved. Wouldn't you say the last several years, teams going for it, their own 45, their own 40, whatever the case may be. The way coaches call it, the way teams defend it, you almost expect to see it in situations where 10 years ago you wouldn't see it. Kaliak-Manis now with the headset communication is turned off. And he'll go back to Benjamin. And I'll finish that point in a moment, Jake. Coming up on Friday, you know, the last 20 years, another moment like that was Chip Kelly's warp speed Oregon offense, where for so many years, time of possession was a number that didn't lie. And then suddenly time of possession didn't tell you who dominated the game, because Oregon was scoring in 2 minutes and then scoring again and then scoring again. And, you know, today's an example. They've been so explosive. This is probably as close as the time of possession's been all game. It's 35-29 in favor of Rutgers, but at one point early it was about a 10 or 12 minute differential because of just how explosive this Oregon offense is. Kaliak-Manis keeps for the first down.
To go for it on fourth down. That, to me, is the driver of what we currently see in modern college football offenses. Because offenses back in the day, when you prioritized time of possession, you wanted to run the ball, control the clock. You didn't take a ton of shots. But in comes Chip Kelly, and he said, we're going to score as fast as we possibly can, and we do not care. It's about explosive plays.
Kaliak-Manis, everybody meets in the backfield. And Blake Purchase adds a sack to his stat line today, already with an interception.
But now, rather than the most important statistic being time of possession, I can't tell you, I've been in this industry for 4 years. I've never heard a coach say we want to win the time of possession. Go back to Chip, and what you're saying here is the psychology of these coaches and teams has completely changed. Oh, man.
Nearly intercepted by Theran Johnson. Great coverage there on KJ Duff.
Man, well, this is great technique. Watch the eyes. You'll see it right here. And Tosh Lupoi said there's going to be a battle for this cornerback 2 spot, and Theran Johnson, man, I mean, there was never a doubt. Kaliak-Manis must not have seen that Johnson was just sitting on that and squatting on that. But we've highlighted Brandon Finney Jr. That's the cornerback 1 spot. Lupoi said he's challenging guys like Theran Johnson, Ife Obadegu, and even Naeem Offord. They want some more competition there on the other side of Brandon Finney.
Kaliak-Manis pressured and throws it high, and it's intercepted. Aaron Flowers with the pick. The 3rd turnover for Rutgers tonight.
And once again, it's just true team defense. There's been a few sacks that have been a credit to the coverage. This time it's the pass rush. And how about the spin move once again? Look at Blake Purchase, number 9, working on the right tackle. And Aaron Flowers is there waiting for it. The Ducks, a lot of reasons to celebrate. Add that one to the belt.
And Moore's going to take what the defense gives him, which is a ton. He's across midfield looking for blocks, and he finally slides down at the 30.
They got so much speed on this offense, you almost forget Dante Moore's a great athlete, and this is just great vision, a nice little play call. I like what they were trying to do. They're trying to hit Dierre Hill Jr. in the flat, and as soon as the linebacker vacates by picking up Hill in man coverage, Dante Moore says, wait a second, no one's going to pick me up? Well, it's my turn to run for 30, 40 yards.
Take a look at this, 568 total yards. That is less than 200 away from the program record. With a 1.5 to go. Now here's Hill chipping into it. 777 the record So that is within reach, the way that they have been just busting out explosive play after explosive play in this game. They are 15 yards per play, 20 yards per completion, 15 yards per carry.
I'm excited we even get to flirt with that. I mean, everyone picked Oregon on the video games growing up because you knew they'd have a great offense. So there's been some big time stats put up over the years.
Hill. And he gets a first down and a flag comes in. Now another flag.
Personal foul, grasping, twisting the face mask. Defense, number 16. Half the distance to the goal, automatic. First down.
Okay, so there's 16. Ofuri.
Yeah. He got a finger in there too from Dierre Hill going the other way, but you heard the grasp and the twist. And back to the ground, and Hill gets it on the act, but a flag comes in.
Holding.
And so that'll wipe out a touchdown.
10-yard penalty, first down.
Davioli.
Yep, you see him. He's got his hand just missed with his initial punch, and his hand came around on the back. And the official threw the flag on Sam Robinson, number 4, the linebacker.
Which I guess gives them opportunity to pick up more yards, if nothing else. Dante Moore. And that is fought for and intercepted by Cam Miller. Miller forced a fumble tonight, and now he's got a pick.
Same play we saw with Theran Johnson on the other side. This time it's Cam Miller sitting and squatting on the slant route, most importantly driving and picking the ball off.
Take a look at our team comparison, sponsored by Safelight. Yards per play tonight. Oregon at 14.5. Rutgers at 3.2. Rutgers takes over after the Cam Miller interception. And Jayshon Benjamin, 79 yards. 2 interceptions, 1 out of deflection at the line of scrimmage. Back to Benjamin, and he gets pulled down by Devin Jackson after a short game. Third down. 3 for 26 today for DT Sheffield, who's, to that point, Jake, a big play target. This is Kenny Fletcher, the tight end, who can't hang on, and it's 4 turnovers in this game. Dakorien Moore will wave for that fair catch. Oregon's offense back out, and we return in 15 seconds. First time the O has been thrown up here in Jersey, and a lot of Ducks fans made this trip. It's a great trip. Spend the weekend. The weather's been great. Of course, they made the trip east against Penn State on their last road trip as well. This is Jay Harris, who had his touchdown wiped out by a holding on the last possession. Moore flicks it out to Hill, and he keeps going for a first down.
They can do a little bit of everything, you know, but this is just Will Stein, and you know, this isn't like a boot action in a flat route. That is a screen. You see the wide receivers downfield blocking for him. They knew that that ball was going to go to Dierre Hill 100% of the way. It's just a unique way to run a screen and a unique way to get the ball in Dierre Hill's hand.
Offense, the program record 777. Here's Hill, big hole. Dierre Hill, nothing but taillights. Touchdown Ducks.
Well, these freshmen must be great friends, because take a look at the freshman Jordon Davison. This time he's the lead blocker. He's a running back. This time he's playing fullback. Watch this pop right on the safety Elad, and there's Dierre Hill. That's what he does best, run fast in open space.
We saw the play as a touchdown. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense number 71 The 15-yard penalty to be assessed on the kickoff. It is 71's first unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Here he comes. Look at zero out in space, right on the safety, Elad. And I mean, Elad actually, he might have been the hammer there. That's just two. We talked about the physicality of this game. It's just two football players fearlessly running into each other.
But just to reiterate the point, the blocker zero, Jordon Davison, has 100 yards rushing in this.
Yes, yeah. That's the selflessness. I mean, we've hit culture a few different angles now. That's what it looks like in real time. This poor duck, they need to get him a protein shake and some creatine, guy. How many push-ups is he going to be at today?
Well, the great thing about the duck is it's been about 20 years of this, 25 years of this.
You see, I think he asked for his beak to be extended because that's not a lot of range of motion, but his beak is touching the grass in fairness, yes.
The duck has not been shy about visiting new places in the league since Oregon joined the Big Ten. So these guys got in last night and slept good, clearly. Line drive caught by Ben Black. Tough catch for Ben Black and a good one. And then he runs into the crowd at the 40. Antoine Raymond will carry. A defense doesn't consider 3 a shutout, but does not allowing a touchdown. Tosh Lupoy, we talked to him at the end of the Northwestern game. They gave up a couple scores. They were not happy about it.
Yeah, it's an exponential curve there. A shutout is really, really exciting, but not allowing a touchdown, that's like the next best thing, but not quite in the same world as a shutout.
Hold on, you said you didn't go to class.
Yeah, wait a second.
And you just dropped exponential curve on the
Hey, wait a second. I went to math class.
Okay.
And I went to your history. I should have went to history class if you were my history teacher.
2nd and 5 for Raymond. Wow. That's swallowed up. Tion Gray lost a shoe.
Take a look at this guy. Look at the Blake Purchase right here. Bam! On the tight end. They just keep running these guys on back blocks. At that time, it's Colin Weber. Last drive, it was Kenny Fletcher.
Kaliak Manis swamped. Chris Jones, the defensive back, getting some snaps.
Yeah, but it looked like number 20, Dylan Williams, there coming on a late pressure as well. Off the slot, 54, Jerry Mixon gets in on it. I said coming off the slot, Dylan Williams, he's a linebacker, he has a neck roll. Unless nickelbacks are playing with neck rolls these days.
That was a hint to both of us to double check. Dakorien Moore with the fair catch. Meanwhile, here at 56 points on the board for the offense, and Dante Moore's day is done. Brock Thomas, the walk-on from Eugene, from Sheldon High School, of course made famous for Justin Herbert, and a great legacy opportunity for him as he steps onto the field. You saw the note on his father and grandfather, a family of Ducks, and he'll give it off to Jay Harris.
So you'd say this is a low pressure situation for Brock Thomas, but little does he know that there is a record at stake here.
That's right.
He's got a lot riding on his ability to operate this offense.
Young man who redshirted, played in a couple of games as a true freshman in 23, did not appear in a game last year. And flag.
Offside. Defense number 55. 5-yard penalty results for the first time.
Good job. This is the second unit, Oregon's backup offensive line. It was a good job there working on the dummy count guy, going on 2, getting Rutgers to jump off sides.
Jay Harris remains the back, and he'll get it again. On first down, gets a few. Thomas. Right to Harris. And he gets pushed out. It'll depend on this spot. It's 3rd down and short. The 3rd quarter is done. Oregon dominating here in New Jersey. But they brought another streak in here today. The longest road winning streak in the country, 9 games. And the 4th quarter starts with Brock Thomas delivering on the money to Jeremiah McClellan.
I mean, that's a big time throw. Welcome to the game, Brock Thomas. 3rd and short, you bring in a bunch of tight ends, you get into heavy play action. And down the field, a good job by McClellan, just winning, stair-stepping, and creating that separation into that 2nd or 3rd level. And Brock thought he was going to have his first touchdown. He's, come on, Jeremiah, I need you to break that. That was a huge throw, though, by Brock, getting hit.
He's going to give it off. Jay Harris cuts it back into a wall, a brick wall named Jordan Walker. The record 7-7-7. They're at 689 here near the start of this 4th quarter. So we could be watching a historic output from what has been for a quarter century a historic offense. Thomas. And that's behind Cooper Perry.
The protection's been a little leaky on that 3rd down and on that 2nd down throw. Let's see if they can give Brock a clean pocket here.
Thomas throws complete. That is Perry. He's going to be shy of the line again even after the fight. And now it's 4th down. This will be 44 yards out of the hold of the punter James Ferguson Reynolds. Luke Basso, the snap. And that did. Oh, that was wide to the left. Well, as Rutgers comes back out on offense, take a look at the Oregon Ducks' upcoming schedule. They got Wisconsin coming up next, then a bye before they go to Iowa. They'll host Minnesota and SC, and then finish in a big rivalry game with Washington. New quarterback here for Rutgers is A.J. Surace, the sophomore from New Jersey, and he'll give it off for a couple. So Ethan Kaliak-Manis, and he'll give it to Benjamin. And there's no doubt who that was. Dylan Williams with the neck roll and the stick. He's looking for you.
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight this game specifically. Don't overlook it. Iowa. The kickoff time has not been announced, Guy, but Kinnick is a tough place to play. I knew this. My Michigan Wolverine team was #2, undefeated on the road. No way should Iowa have competed with us. But not only did they compete, they beat us. So obviously, Oregon, you know, the pressure's on with a close loss to the Hoosiers. Not a ton of room for error.
This is Blake Purchase. He's been playing hard from the jump today.
Yep.
You know, and you mentioned it. You lose to Indiana. There's not room for error. You know it. And this team's playing like it. I mean, this is just one night. There's many more, as you see, a long way to go. But this is how Dan Lanning teams. They have not lost a lot, and they certainly have not lost in the regular season for a couple years. Punt is muffed, and it's recovered by Rutgers. That was Dakorien Moore.
Catching punts, it's easier said than done. It just looks like he underestimated it. Yeah, it looks like Dakorien, you really want to put your body into that catch, and he just misjudged it. You see him reach out with his hands. You don't want to hand catch a punt. You want to hand catch a pass from your quarterback, but not a punt. And yeah, just completely out of position here, and Ben Black is there to fall on the fumble. I think that mistake is a little more forgivable when you run a good double move for a touchdown in the first half. A little bit.
So Surace back out there, and he gives it off to Benjamin. Cuts it back, and Benjamin again tackled it. Dylan Williams is taking the opportunity to make some plays.
I think I would describe Dylan Williams as a linebacker and then just put a period on it. Yeah. I just think that guy's a linebacker all the way through.
Well, you see the way these guys are playing. You know, you go back to this team that is #8 in the country, still, you know, despite the loss that you mentioned earlier with the expanded playoff, very much still not just a contender, but one of the favorites, among the favorites to win a national championship, certainly to compete for one. And yet, when this game started, Tosh Lupoy's evaluating competition at corner. He's evaluating competition at defensive tackle. He's making those decisions based on practice tape. And the level of competition, you can just see it, even as the backups have come into the game, is just so high within this program.
That's the mastery and the motivation of this coaching staff, though, is how do you keep your guys engaged? How do you ensure that they squeeze the most out of every single day? Well, competition's the best way to do that. And practice is key, Guy. They're saying this is a true meritocracy. We're going to play the best players based on not just your production on Saturdays, but what you do during the week in practice, what you do during team meetings, and what you do in your free time if you're watching film or not.
I guess that's the question, too, right? When you look at the big picture as Benjamin takes it, is this a championship level defense in your mind?
It has to be. I mean, they're in that conversation. Is this defense in the context of a team capable of winning a championship? Absolutely, I would say. Absolutely. I mean, in a sense, I think their run defense has been better this year than last year. I give a ton of credit to Aaron Flowers and Dylan Thieneman, those guys being able to fly down and run support at the safety position.
You know they don't want to give a touchdown here. They've only given up 3 passing touchdowns all year. Rutgers has kept it on the ground here after the muffed punt recovery. Surace gives to Benjamin again, and he squeezes through a hole to bring up 4th down and short. Benjamin. And he is, I think, across the line to gain. Yep, Jake, and it is indeed a 1st down. 1st and goal for Surace. Puts it up towards the end zone, and it's caught out of bounds. Incomplete. He was looking for Sinai de Graffenried, the freshman from Atlantic City. Nearly had his first career catch.
Well, and a freshman in coverage, Naheem Offord. Number 14, 14 and 14, 2 freshmen.
Well, Offord is the guy that paints the picture for people who say, come on, guys, are they really evaluating? Offord actually was a guy who played early, and Tosh Lupoy said made a couple mistakes late against Northwestern. It cost him playing time. He has really earned his way back onto the field through practice.
Love the way he's been practicing.
Here comes pressure. Surace stands in there and delivers, but it's broken up.
Another just really tight coverage, great coverage. Ben Black was just working a slant there, and Sione just able to be in good position, didn't interfere with the receiver, gets his hand around and breaks it up.
Play
gotta pass it here, Guy, right?
They get it off, but not before a timeout taken by the defense. Dan Lanning took a timeout. A.J. Surace he took over on the last possession for Ethan Kaliak-Manis in there at quarterback. He gives it, and the door opens wide for Jay-Sean Benjamin. And Rutgers is in the end zone for the first time tonight.
Well, it looked like they checked to this at the line of scrimmage, and looked like Oregon was bringing pressure. A.J. Surace checks to kind of a read option type look, and he gives the handoff to Benjamin, and the Oregon Ducks bringing the pressure off the edge. They were just too far out of the picture.
Jay Patel for the point after, and that is good. It's our hardest working player, sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance. So many to pick from. It's the quarterback, Dante Moore, 15 of 20. Dots all over the field, 290 yards, 4 touchdown passes.
Kind of says it all, too, Guy. He's the hardest working player, but he makes it look easy. I mean, it's hard work, but it's effortless for Dante Moore when he's on and when he's clicking.
A touchback for Maryland has played in some really close, tough games the last few weeks. The heartbreaker last week, the loss to Nebraska. So out comes the Oregon offense, and if you wanted them to break the record, 777 yards of total offense, it's going to be tight if they can get down the field. 777. I mean, it's just, aside from the record for a moment, they're almost to 700 yards of offense. Yeah, I mean, just that in and of itself.
Wait a second. Yeah, it's crazy. So many chunk plays, too. You do that by having explosives.
Strong run there from Riggs. Stein, the offensive coordinator. His offense has come back with a vengeance today.
I'd love to ask those guys too. Like, do those running backs, do they have enough perspective to understand how fresh they feel right now compared to if they were each getting 20 carries a game?
Here's Brock Thomas breaking out, and a first down for the quarterback.
All right, Brock, you're going to get in the mix a little bit. We've been talking about the running backs. How about Brock Thomas? It looks like he's got a little speed to him.
Sure does.
Yeah, nice job. Nice job reading it out, and good ball security into the second level.
Of total offense for Oregon. Didn't you just get the sense talking to them this week and watching their players talk? And here's Riggs breaking out again, another first down. And it'd be understandable. They just want to get back on the field so quickly. But it felt like they had their feet firmly planted. Dan Lanning said it early in the week. Hey, we've moved on. Watching his players talk, it felt like that was the case.
I think that is a great point because, and I'm guilty of it, you know, we've talked about a bounce back opportunity, Oregon to prove themselves after the loss. What I listened to, what I heard this week when they were talking to the media, what I heard in coaching meetings, and what I saw today wasn't a team trying to prove anything. This is just Oregon being who Oregon is. They're just telling us, hey, last week is not us. We made far too many mistakes. We played below our standard. We did not show up prepared. This is who we are. Let's get back to playing Oregon Duck football.
We'll run another play here before the 2-minute, but look at the teams in gold. These are the games they've lost under Dan Lanning. All the teams in yellow there. Georgia in the opener his first year. Washington twice. The year Washington went to the national title. Ohio State last year. Those teams all played for a national title in those years, and Georgia and Ohio State won it. Riggs. And that should take us to the 2-minute timeout. And it just makes you wonder. Is Indiana up?
I was going to say, someone send that graphic to the Hoosier fans.
56-10 as we hit the 2-minute timeout, and Oregon's looking for more points and maybe more yards before the night is done. All right, Dave, it has been a trip worth making for these Oregon fans. The offense is at the 16-yard line. They put up 752 yards of offense. The program record is 777. The program record in a road game is 755. So they could break or set the Oregon record for most yards in a road game. Brock Thomas in at quarterback. And he gives it off to Harris. That's because Oregon is just a different beast.
I would agree with that.
That Dan Lanning post-game interview at Penn State was such an insight into him. And then you saw him last week in the darkness in Eugene take his shirt off for the crowd. They went crazy. It just beloved the job he's done, and they will let the record lie and head back home with 56 on the board. Pretty good.
Yeah. And there's you mentioned that post-game interview by Dan and the way this team's played today. There is an absolute hunger about this coaching staff and this team. Maybe that's an advantage of having a young staff. I mean, they want to be the ones to bring a national championship home to Oregon. And I've said it before, Guy, I just feel like as long as Dan Lanning is the head coach at Oregon, it's a matter of when, not if. He's the guy to bring a championship home to the Ducks.
They're working on a dream, and they've got a good chance at it. Dan Lanning, Greg Schiano, so much respect between those two. We saw a backflip from Brady Bidwell after the kneel down. That might be a first. And Oregon's going to extend the nation's longest road winning streak here tonight. It's their 10th road win in a row, and they do it with 750 total yards of offense. And let's go down on the field to Brook with Dan Lanning.
Coach, you've emphasized responding to adversity. How did you see that mentality show up from that first snap?
Yeah, we wanted to see a game where we played every phase, played to our standard. I felt like our guys did that tonight.
Over 750 yards of total offense there. What does that say about the potential of this group?
That we can be as good as we want to be when we play to our standard, right? And our guys did that tonight. They came in, they executed at a high level, right? Really proud of our coaches and our players.
But you got to give some credit to the defense here. How did they dictate the way this game turned out tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we were really good on third down. We stopped the run for the majority of the game. All the contested balls that we were concerned about coming in, they won those contested balls and gave us a chance.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, Brooke. Not the record-setting, but still a historic night. One of the most prolific nights of offense in Oregon football history. Fourth most all time.
Got to imagine that's going to be a fun plane ride home for Dan Lanning and the Ducks.
No doubt. Still plenty more to come. Big Ten Live Game Break is coming up next with Dave Rebson, Howard Griffith, and Marcel Reese. For our entire crew, Bart Fox and Alex Struckman and Andrew Blaustein and Jake Butt and Brooke Fletcher. I'm Guy Haberman saying stay tuned and good night from Jersey.